So here's how you assemble one of these micro SD shields. This is the board. This is where the micro SD connector goes onto. So I'm going to put some flux on the board on the spots where the micro SD connector goes. There. Spread flux on these 3 pads and 9 pins over there. This is the connector. Goes on here. It's got 2 little tabs that snap into 2 little holes there. So make sure those snap. You make sure the pins line up with the pads on the board. Okay. Soldering iron. Clean tip approximately. Put some solder on it. And solder the 2 ground pads on the board. Now the pins over here, they're almost underneath the socket, so you need a lot of flux in there, and then you just go over them with the soldering iron. The flux makes sure the solder doesn't go into any wrong places or from bridges. And there you go. All 9 pins soldered. Make sure they're all connected properly. And you can do the next ground pad over here. Okay. This is a capacitor. The capacitor normally goes on those 2 pads over here, but I prefer mounting it over here, right next to the socket, between the ground pad of the socket and this via over here, because this way you can mount it flush against the ramps board underneath it if you want. Most people just plug it in on the top, but I like to keep options open. Okay, so I put in a little flux, put the capacitor in. You can use tweezers if you like, or if you're so hardy enough, just your fingers. Hold it in place. Blob of solder on the soldering iron. Yeah. Now the solder on one end will hold it in place while soldering the other end. I hope. In this case it didn't. It means it wasn't properly soldered on the other end. That's bad. So, need to do this one again. This end and the other end. Now it's properly attached on both sides. Okay, next part, the OED. The OED is really tiny. it has one end marked with green. The green end goes towards the outside over here. So green end towards the outside. That's towards the bottom end in the picture. Okay, hold it down. You can use tweezers, you can use your fingernail. Just hold it down somehow and tack solder it one end. Yeah. That keeps it in place. And I can solder the other end. You can do the one end again if you want to clean it up a bit. And the other end. There. Next is the resistor. Now the resistor is even smaller than the LED. That causes a bit of a problem because you need to hold it down while you solder it. That's where it goes. You place it there, hold it down with your tweezers and solder one end. It's okay if it bridges to the LED, that's fine. Solder the other end. You can clean up the connection a bit if you want. Okay. So, it goes between this pad and this pad. Connects to the LED. If you make a bridge to the LED, that's fine. Just make sure it doesn't bridge to any of the pins on the socket. Okay, that's it for this side. Let's do the other side. The only two components on here are the voltage regulator and the level shifter. So, let's do the voltage regulator first. Spread some flux. Put the regulator chip on. Make sure the pins line up with the pads. Hold it down. And solder one leg. Solder the other two legs. Make sure you don't get any solder in the pins over here. And then you solder a little tab over here. Here. Now the only thing left is the level shifter chip. It has a little bevel on the side that goes towards the voltage regulator. So add some flux. Place chip on. Make sure the pins line up. And then you solder one end.